Welcome back to another issue. I'm Beastie Boy.
I'm Table.
I'm Red.
And it is I, Shino Brando.
And for today, we'll be discussing games we want to see redone, remastered, or announced for Summer Games Expo, or formerly known as E3. Starting off with the list will be Table.
So I'm starting off with that sweet, sweet nostalgia train because I would really, really love to play Kirby Air Ride and not spend $1 billion on it. And also, play it on a console I own these days. Like, the sweet memories, the joy. It was like encompassing. It was cuboid, except it was round and friend-shaped like Kirby himself.
Yeah.
And also bouncing your friends off of cliffs while they're all on stupid flying cars. Hilarious.
Was it on 64?
GameCube.
GameCube,
Exclusively.
GameCube, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember playing that too when it came out, and I was like, oh boy, another Mario Kart.
It's basically Mario Kart, but where the entire goal is violence.
I can get behind that.
I could get behind some extreme Kirby violence.
Mm-hmm.
I happen to get exactly that whenever I verse Shino in Smash.
But no, it was a fun game, and I loved it a whole lot. But Red and I were looking at it earlier. It's like $70 to buy these days.
No kidding.
And also, my GameCube, I don't even know if it works anymore. It's been sitting in the back of a closet for years.
Listen, whenever you need that thing to work, you find your way over here, and we'll run in through it.
You gonna dissect my GameCube?
Absolutely. I love dissecting GameCubes. Those things are cool.
Okay.
Because it's like 4 boards stacked on top of each other with a controller port at the front, and it works magically.
Really no. Okay.
Baffling.
It's
All
got
right.
the longest screws in a console I've ever seen in my entire life. Because
That's a really weird flex.
I mean,
What's your claim to fame? I've got really long screws.
We're a box.
I guess
Which
that
I
makes it
believe
neat.
transitions to Red.
Yeah. Okay. I need everybody to think back to the last Smash Brothers game you played,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
There is a particular person or a particular duo that didn't last very long, had a good run of games, and then because of hardware limitations, didn't get put in one of those games.
Okay.
Those duo is the Ice Climbers. Now, they had a game on the NES,
Mm-hmm.
and it is about time that they, along with some other Melee counterparts, get a new game. Now, because the NES is super simple, and we got such greats on it like Dr. Mario,
Yeah.
I think let's take the Ice Climbers. Let's not make them, let's not put it on the NES cloud service that Nintendo currently has.
Right.
Let's make it a mobile game,
Okay.
right? Because it's literally just a climbing game.
That would be fun as a touchscreen, like endless climber type of game. Yeah, you got that going. I keep going. Yeah.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you take the team that did Kid Icarus Uprising,
Mm-hmm.
that loves these projects, that brought Kid Icarus back from the NES and then put it on the 3DS, and it's probably one of the greatest hits on the 3DS, and make them develop the mobile game. You have an endless climber with costumes for a good gachapon system that's not like the current Mario Kart game that everybody doesn't like. And so not only does it make money, but it revives a property from the dead.
You want to
And
go
that's
for
my
some
pitch.
necromancy here.
Yeah, that's my pitch.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
I
man.
hate Ice Climbers on principle because, rude, but I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
There's a couple other Melee stars that need a new game, but I'm hoping somebody else hits those. I believe
Like-
Does knowing what everyone has already proposed.
That brings it to me now.
sure does.
Sure does.
All right. So my first choice here is probably one that no one's ever heard of, unless you had a Sega on you. A Sega Genesis, not even a Master System. The Genesis was the system after. It didn't have the greats as like Altered Beasts and Golden Axe. This one came with like Sonic 2 and such later on in its lifespan. My first choice is Comic Zone. Very, very unheard of title. You had to be a real Sega boy to know it. It features a character named Sketch Turner. He is a independent comic artist who one day gets warped into his own comic and has to get himself out while trying to defeat the villain who got out of the comic, trying to keep him in there. Crazy fluid. It's known for having a really hard learning curve at one point. It gets super fucking hard. But the concept was pretty cool. With today's like engines and whatnot, I would like to see it either remastered or just a whole new game in that same flex, that same genre. Same fluidity, same look, but maybe updated. If you haven't ever seen it, do just YouTube it and just check it out, man. It's a rocking game.
So because we have characters like, say, Gwenpool that thrive in that principle, I think bringing that game to some modern audiences, like you wouldn't face such a, like, what the fuck is this? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because Gwenpool is in the modern parlance now, and that's her whole shtick.
Comic copy.
It's a meta joke.
Yeah.
That'd be neat. And Sketch Turner, I have no idea why, but I feel like that's ringing a bell somewhere, like 5 streets away.
Check him out. He has a there's a cool little tool in there. You pick up weapons as you go along, but the one major tool is your pet rat named Roadkill. You jump from panel to panel, fighting. It's a beat 'em up, so you jump from panel to panel, fighting other villains. If you pull out Roadkill at certain points, he will like sniff around the panel itself and scratch the background and pull the page down and find you like 1-ups and power-ups and like weapons that you don't have on hand. It's pretty cool.
That rings very very similar to like a Super Paper Mario.
In exactly that vein.
Okay, so let me just get this straight. He had a little sidekick or pet sidekick
Mm-hmm.
named Roadkill.
Roadkill.
That was a
Roadkill.
rat.
A rat.
That's so effing meta, and that's so savage. But I like it.
Yeah.
Very
See,
interesting.
this is a game from the 90s, so like it was a time frame where everything had to be like gross. So like Roadkill and like your pet snot and like booger, like stupid shit like that, right? So
Go gross or go home, I guess.
yeah, exactly. I can go on about another game, but I want to pass it off to you, Beastie.
All right. So for my first choice, or one that I want to kind of see, announced or talked about, would be Bayonetta 3.
Yeah, me too. Okay,
Yeah.
so go on.
Is there a reason why?
No, you go. It's your choice. You first.
Just jumped on that train real quick. Bayonetta, oh, where is she? Oh,
Bayo, touch my
is
hand.
that you? Is that you, my witch queen? Oh my gosh. No, but for the reason why, because for Bayonetta 3 is because first off, it's a very good game. I still need to play the second one, just because I haven't had a chance to like get a grasp on it or like have the right console for it.
Bayo's the best JoJo.
Yeah. The most powerful
certainly win in a
Fed
fight.
user.
I hate
But
you,
yeah.
and you know why.
But it's also like it was announced, I think, around before 2019 E3 or sometime way before that.
Yeah.
So there was mentions of it, and they showed like I think maybe just like a title screen of what it could possibly look like. But
So
there was
fun
no
fact,
talk after
Bayonetta
that.
3, its official teaser trailer was released December 7th, 2017.
Yep. There we go.
Patience is a virtue, Red.
This patience
I don't
is
have any. Do
done.
Dude, do you know how long it took for us to get Devil May Cry 5?
you know how long it
A
took me
hot
to get
minute.
Kingdom Hearts 3?
Like,
Fair.
And I lost a bet on that
Why would you bet on that?
because I'm dumb.
I should have known.
Yep. But yeah, Bayonetta 3 is the one that needs to make a appearance. Hopefully.
Yeah,
And
if she wants to rear her witchy head, that'd be great.
it'd be nice.
Because I want to know how this story continues.
With whatever hairstyle, we just want to know.
It doesn't matter. I prefer the short haircut. She looks better.
I enjoy it.
I
It's
prefer
a
when
vibe.
she's dressed like Joan,
I like that too.
but that's great.
But I'll be honest, I like everything Bayonetta. So
I
You
just
know
like how
where
she
I
looks.
don't like Bayonetta though? I don't like Bayonetta in Smash 4
Why?
why?
Fair.
because I get comboed up into the sky.
It
Those long legs
'Cause she-
will
'cause
kick
she's
you
broken.
all the way around the world.
Them long legs will kick you around
And
the
she never
world.
got
You
that.
got it.
I mean, she's got to use those legs somehow, right?
Apparently. But
These boots are made for walking.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
If they could walk on me, please, that'd be great.
I mean, she's going to be using those devil boots, which I mean is her demon spawn. So hey, if that's what you're down for, she'll do it. But yeah, I guess that passes it off to
I
Table.
believe that's me, yeah. My next one is another nostalgia pick because that's pretty much what I focused my theme on for the start here. So I know we're all like fairly high tier losers, right?
Stop.
Yes.
So-
correct. Yes.
We, traditionally speaking, are not the sportiest of folks. Did any of
Right.
you guys ever play those sports video games?
I have plenty.
I
few,
have
yeah.
played a few.
Do any of you remember the Hits series for the NHL games?
Yes, I do. I do remember clearly. I do.
Because there is something near and dear to my heart about
Yeah.
sitting down and playing a sports game with your siblings and
Mhm.
refusing to care about the sports at all because you have a shark head and you want to fight.
Yeah.
The breaking glass physics in that game is amazing.
It was on
It
the
was
vein
so
of like
fun.
NFL Blitz. It was like it was so much.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
There's a soccer one as well, Red
Yeah.
Card. But like,
Okay.
just that idea of this is a sports game, but if you choose not to care about the sport, that's okay.
Yeah.
And you can set the the AI to either want to fight you or to try desperately to just play the game.
Right.
And terrorizing an AI who's trying to just do things the way it's supposed to be while you're a literal zombie, fantastic, hilarious, 10 out of 10. I want that back.
Man, what was that on again?
The GameCube.
That was definitely a GameCube one.
GameCube again. Yeah.
And I think
man,
it was
it's been a
also
while.
PS2, but someone can correct me there. Our editor will correct us.
Capital E. But no, I put the weird nonsense back in sports games. Let them stop taking themselves so goddamn seriously.
Yeah, less Maddens, more fun ones.
Madden isn't interesting because football's not interesting. That's my hot take there.
I like it, but like I can't play a simulated game of it. But if you make it fun, where I can run into somebody and like crunch them in like, you know, in half and fold them, I'll play it all fucking day long, right?
Listen, can I add on?
You're here for the real violence.
Yeah.
I want to add on to this. If you take like the physics engine from like Skate 3, where you like it tells you all the broken bones you've created.
Yes.
Yeah. See, that's cool.
I'm sold.
And just beat your enemies to a pulp. That would be so funny.
That might be Doom levels of violent. You might need to get a rated M on that.
But that is my number 2. So we're going to pass it back on to Red for whatever you've got.
Chrono Trigger Definitive Edition.
Now go on about definitive.
So the last time we saw Chrono Trigger,
Yes.
it was on the DS. It was released November 25th, 2008.
Yes.
That is the best version of the game, arguably, right? There are some, you know, super premier people that believe playing it on the cartridge in a SNES is the perfect way to go. However, to buy a SNES, and that you pay $250 because the cartridge itself is $200 loose.
Now, I'm going to one-up you on this one because this was going to be part of my list too. After witnessing DBZ Kakarot and that whole style of, you know, how it looks, that's the same art style that's featured in Chrono Trigger. Right? I kind of wanted it more of like a take on FF7 remake, Chrono Trigger in that vein.
Absolutely. But if we're going to do that, the Chrono Trigger Definitive Edition I had in my mind was Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross.
I could get behind that too because Chrono Cross, people sleep on it. Don't, you know, it's a really good kind of sequel.
It's totally passable. It totally passes it. It doesn't spit on the thing that came before it.
Nope.
It's totally great. It's totally fine in its own right. It's just that people sleep on it.
Yeah, people forget about it. It's
but being on the
Chrono Cross is really good. Yeah.
Being on the DS, does anybody happen to know the aspect ratio inside of a DS for both screens?
I don't remember.
No.
It's 256 by 192. So
what is
for
that,
the game,
240?
256 by 192. So for the game that invented the New Game Plus, that's carried on to this day, this thing is owed a due.
That's a fair point. Impactful games deserve to be remembered and celebrated.
Yeah.
Let's kick it back to Shino while he, you know, stops being so shook about this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it in that vein too. My second choice is probably one of the first action RPGs out. It came out on the PS2. I think it was a launch title for that matter. Also, it was The Bouncer, Square Enix, way back in the day. Yeah. He pretty much features 3 characters I want to say. And you're literally exactly what the title says. You're a friggin' bouncer and you go on this wild adventure that you would never think these 3 guys would go on. And it's crazy stuff. And it's got a rocking soundtrack, which I own, by the way. Slept on, not remastered in a long time. I think it had a remaster only once. I could be wrong on that though. It's a shame. It was ahead of its time. It's almost reminiscent of like FF15 if you really look at it.
Gotcha.
But not such a grand scope because, like, you know, PS2 is very limited on what it could do at the time, but presentable of what it gave you. And it gave you such an open world where you had to walk around and literally you get into fights a whole lot. And
like random encounters, or did you see them?
You can see them. There was ways to evade them. Sometimes there's no choice but to get into that brawl. Sometimes you didn't want to skip them because it's an RPG. So the more brawls you get into,
don't level, you die.
Exactly, you don't level, you die. So it's always good to get into scrap. The fun part is when they separate your squad because they allow you to run around with the AI with 2 of your partners, right? The AI is pretty smart. They take care of themselves. They have a mechanic where you can do like a tag team kind of move. The AI does pick up on it when you do hit the trigger, so they're really comprehensible. The tone of it all, you know, it was like a mix of like FF with like Final Fight, Streets of Rage, in a sense.
Okay. Right? I can feel your vibe now. Yep.
Right? It's like that, and you move along the map, and then at one point they took your AI and they separated all 3 of you and you had to do 3 different storylines of each character, right? And they all intersect into one big whole storyline at the end again. And then, you take on your final boss in friggin' space somehow.
I like
Space.
space.
Right?
Space.
And he unlocks a god mode on you, and you're a bouncer, and you got to bounce this god out of space. So
Can I just say I love that game design of giving you a team so you learn strategies and an approach and you're like, this is cool, this is how we play the game. And then it's like, actually, fuck you for thinking you knew what was going on. Figure it out again.
Yeah, and it gives you scenarios where like not all the fights are the same. So like the main character, Sion, he's more of a boxer brawler, so all your attacks are more or less like punch fist oriented, right? You have some moves that are kicks, but like they're gonna be less effective and like get you more caught. As where another character, Ko, is like a Muay Thai kickboxer, so he does more kicking. So his strengths are all kicks, no less punching. And then you have Volt, who's like a wrestler, big guy, so he does more of like grapples and grabs and such. So like you had to figure out how to take on certain enemies, because like certain enemies will like they'll break your mechanic up and be like you're sitting there like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And then you have to try to figure it out, and you have to go through the whole goddamn move list because there's a whole extensive
Welcome back
move
to
list.
button mashing part.
Yeah, and you
Electric
gotta go
Boogaloo.
through it all. Yeah, and you gotta go through it, and you gotta figure out which moves kind of connect to each one, so you have a constant flow, so that you don't stop during your fight. Because if you lose momentum, computer AI is gonna gang up on you. You have to be
Time to
consistently
curb
flowing.
stomp.
Yeah, so like you pick and piece your combo sets, and then at one point you're like freaking invincible.
I take it. Yes.
All right.
I'm sold.
Right
I'm
on.
here for this, actually. Yes.
All right, so Beastie, you?
Yeah, for my next one, it's gonna be Duel Fungus 2. So yes, this is for I think I've mentioned it maybe before in one of the previous episodes, but it's a game from the Telltale house or Telltale series. Basically, it got like announced, I think I think earlier this year or like late last year, that they were like, oh, we brought it back, but it's under a new company that luckily picked up the, I guess, I want to say brand, but just the game itself.
Right.
Just because it is one of the popular, I guess, stories or interactive games that people were interested in. And so when they heard like, this is going to be like, we have something going on with this, but then they got shut down with the whole company, and people were just like, well, what the fuck now? So when they got announced again, it was like bringing kind of like a hope for everybody back about it.
Yeah.
That game was based on a graphic novel series, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah. I haven't read it, but I know of it.
A very pulp noir-esque kind of style.
Yeah. It's, from what I understand, it's like, I don't know if a good comparison would be this, but it'd be like LA Noir meets like fantasy characters.
Yeah, that's what I was told. Like it's
It's literal
noirish.
fairy tale characters.
Fairy tale,
in
yeah.
a noir
But, like,
kind of setting, yeah.
Yeah, with that mashup too, which I love the story for that. So when I played through it and I got to the ending, like, or actually when I saw the playthrough and then played it for myself, saw it and I was like, man, it can't end like this. There's too much. It's too much. We gotta make it. And then like I was just glad that they like brought it back for announcements, and I was like, yes, there's hope. I cried a tear, but it was or I shed a tear, I should say. But yeah, it was very hopeful to see that it came back. So hopefully there's more news about it with the Summer Expo, and then we can see more details of what's happening with that. But yeah, that's
Nothing worse than an unfinished story.
Right?
Yep.
Honest, Bayonetta 3.
Too many games have faced that.
Well, things that leave themselves to like have a sequel, quote unquote, are doing the whole cliffhangery thing. And if they don't get it, then it just means that you're given like half a story and told to go fetch.
Yeah.
AKA the Darkness.
Yeah,
Correct.
So, okay, but like that's an actual comic series, and I don't think
game.
Yeah, I don't think the game is following through. So I don't know what to tell you on that.
I just want the third game that they hinted at, because the storyline was like they did a good job on the second one, but that's a different topic.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, yes, that's another game that like had that same fate. But yeah, nonetheless, Table, I'll go back to you with another topic or discussion.
Well, everyone loves Legend of Zelda, and everyone has their favorites, and everyone wants to see them new all over again, blah, 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 blah. Can someone please just give me Twilight Princess in like a way I can play it again without being inconvenient and sad? Yes! And also preferably less stupid. I really, again, I am here for the nostalgia bone, guys. I loved that game. I love that game so much, and I miss it all the time. Yeah. And I'll play other Legend of Zeldas, but
that's the one for you.
I can't turn into a wolf in them.
Funny, I was watching gameplay on that just not too long ago. I remember all the mechanics of the wolf singing.
Yeah.
in that one. Yeah, and I was like, that's pretty, pretty cool.
Well, every
Table.
Legend of Zelda game has its own little thing, its own little
Yeah.
gimmick, and Twilight Princesses was so cool and interesting,
Midna.
and
It gave us Midna, man.
I love
Midna.
Midna as a character. I get to play her in Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah,
Oh man,
I know.
she kicks ass,
Yeah, she does.
and she sasses
Also-
the opponent while she's doing it.
Yes, she does.
the lore of Twilight Princess, man, the
Mhm.
lore.
And the aesthetic.
The
That
feel.
particular world was just that Hyrule. Ugh, wonderful.
Low key, I wish they would do something with like Link to the Past. I'd like my Links with pink hair.
You know what? That's not valid, but I understand.
I mean,
No,
do you have a Wii table?
Do I look like the kind of person who still owns a Wii? I'm pretty sure my sister like drop kicked it when we were children.
Oh my god.
My God.
I wish I was kidding.
Okay, so ignoring that,
Oh my Lord.
I have a second copy. Acquire a Wii.
I will come to your house to play this game.
Okay, bet.
I will play this game while you're dissecting my GameCube. It'll be
Bet.
fine.
Oh my gosh. Something's just occurred. Wow.
Modern problems need modern solutions.
Solutions. That hurts. We don't put that name
Anyway,
in there.
though.
I swear to God.
So while I'm chatting, I think I'll bring up my next one that really just gives it in the nostalgia points.
Yeah.
And that's going to be Nicktoons Battle for Volcano Island.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I have to think about Nicktoons.
Wow. Of all
So
titles.
this is the second in a 2-game series. The first one was Attack of the Toy Bots.
Okay.
And let me just run through the playable characters. Maybe you've heard of them. Danny Phantom,
Yes.
SpongeBob SquarePants,
Yes.
Timmy Turner, Patrick
Yes.
Starr, Sam Manson, she's from Danny Phantom, and Sandy Cheeks.
Yes.
Fighting across
Cast.
every single existence between all the cast.
That's a Nicktoons Justice League, man.
It sure is. Fighting the evil, and I love this name. It's the Magu.
Magu?
Yeah. So because it was on like
Magu?
the GameCube, this is a couch co-op game that was released October 24th, 2006. And because now we're in a new age of cartoons and
Yes.
Nicktoons has a bigger lineup,
Yes.
let's throw some new characters in there. Let's throw in Jenny 9 from
Mhm.
My Life as a Teenage Robot.
Stop this.
Let's throw in Tough Puppy from Tough Puppy. And because
Thank you.
Nicktoons owned the license, and why not? To really sell it to the kiddies, let's throw in some Paw Patrol
No, not the
and-
police propaganda.
Yeah, and a Ninja Turtle.
and a Ninja Turtle. That's
Interesting.
my pitch. Just put it on modern
You keep your
consoles.
state
Give me it.
propaganda out of my video games.
See, and what hit me was the fact that you mentioned Jenny, and I was like, who? What? Why? But yes, take my money.
Take it and go.
Yes. But man, that's a pull. Holy crap. I never
Right?
played the game, but I know what you're referencing to. And frick, like seeing some of that gameplay is like ridiculous.
Wow.
Yo, but seriously, go on YouTube. Go find this game. You will see its art style, like its animation style is super similar to the SpongeBob game that's getting remastered. Let's rehydrate this one too, folks.
Can we just like take a second to go, why is a SpongeBob game getting a remaster?
No,
Who
you know what? I'll
authorized
take
that?
it because it's got a big speed run. Because it's got a big speed run community behind it.
You know what? Fair.
There you go.
All right, I think that takes us back to Shino.
All right, my third one. Maybe you've heard of it. It is Bully, Rockstars Bully.
Oh.
I'm that weird kid. You know, there's some kids who like Grand Theft Auto. You have other kids who like the Red Dead series.
I don't like
I
either.
like Bully. And in a time frame like now, it'd be nice to see an update on the school life and as you tackle different types of bullies. Gameplay is standard, right? It's no different than a Grand Theft Auto, no different than Red Dead Redemption. But it was just fun to be in that aesthetic of being a high school student and fucking around a whole lot. And the situations you get into are a lot of fun. I like to see a remake of it, or even I guess a remaster too. A remaster wouldn't be bad, but it's super short. So like I'd rather have like a brand new game, or give me some add-ons to it or something. Just give me something brand new for it, a bit bigger too.
Mhm.
It is on the PS4. Did you know that?
It is.
But it's not
Again,
a remaster. It's just a port.
Yeah, port still too small. You can finish the game in like less than 12 hours, man. It's very simple, very short. It's not much to it.
Yeah, give me one of those games right now because I'm like neck deep in 5 RPGs. I need something I can pick up, play for 11 hours, be done, and be satisfied.
Yeah, I feel like you've accomplished something.
Not something you have to dedicate like
Ever.
decades of
Forever.
brain space to.
Yeah, time to.
Haha,
Jeez.
Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition.
I hear you.
Ah,
I hear you.
The disgust.
Beastie, you're next.
Yes. So my third choice, or the one that I want to see, is No More Heroes 3. We've already heard of it. We already know that it's announced, but I want to see more updates on it. Like, I want to see what they're doing with it.
You know what I've noticed? You know what I noticed? Your list is a lot of stuff that's possibly coming out, and you're not being patient.
Because I want it now.
Okay.
And I mean, we asked for what do we want to be talked about at the thing, and Beastie's just saying what he wants to hear talked about, where the rest of us are getting whacked.
Yeah, he doesn't care about anything before the PlayStation 4. It's fine.
I don't. The remasters can have the remasters. I want my stuff for.
I hear you. Okay.
We've been in this isolation long enough. They've had the time to work, and we've heard these announcements, and I want my games. I just want to see them talked about.
So NMH3.
Go on.
But yes, I want to see No More Heroes. I just want to see what they're gonna do, and like any like sort of small gameplay, even let alone with how it's gonna like possibly look like in the future, even like small beta testings of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let alone 1 and 2 was a really good played on the Wii. Obviously, never put onto Wii U or anything, but seeing how that could be innovated to the Switch and how the controls will work, it's going to be like an interesting concept, especially when you have to charge your like saber. It's going to be an interesting concept. So when they bring it to the Switch, I feel like
why do I remember exactly how to do that?
Because we all do. If you know the game, you really know how to charge that saber. No, but otherwise,
do you charge it like the Schwartz?
You charge it like a shake weight.
Exactly.
The game knows what it wants from you guys.
The creator knew what he was doing. He knew.
We would like to play.
Look, he was just going for the skill set he knew his players were going to have.
Exactly. But yeah, that's a game that I'm really excited to hear more about. And honestly, just to see what the story is going to be continuing on, especially from 2, let alone it being from like the little mini game, that 3.5 they had. Because that was like a weird in like middle game, but I want to see what is going to happen for this next continuing.
Isn't that one a top down?
Yes.
I like top down.
Yes, it is.
Travis touchdown for Smash.
Travis touchdown for Smash.
Travis touchdown for Smash.
Do you need to get this a hashtag going, guys? Is that how strongly you feel about this?
No, just the editor's going to do something fun with that. That's all.
Oh,
Indeed.
Okay. I see how it is. I guess that makes it my turn again?
Yes, it does.
All right. I'm finally going to leave my childhood for a little bit. And because what I would love to see a sequel to is Bloodborne. Nope. Don't get me wrong. As a standalone, gorgeous, wonderful, fantastic. Holy shit, you know?
Yeah.
However, I want to play more in that world. I love the lore. I love it so much. I mean, who doesn't love Eldritch Abominations? And the weapon design, the more aggressive combat style, because look, Dark Soulsing it is fine. You know, you've got the shield, you've got the rolls, you live like this. But there's something really nice about something smacking you very hard and you go, okay, my only solution is to smack it back several times as hard as I physically can, or I'm going to die. No, that's just not my usual combat style, because I'm usually content to Dark Souls it, where it's just like, I'll chip your health away real slow, I'm gonna play it safe, but Bloodborne won't let you, or you get your shit kicked in. And that was so cool.
I always thought that their Bloodborne to me was a little bit more extravagant than Dark Souls. Final battle in Bloodborne was on epic levels, man.
The visuals in that game are incredible. And it's also one of those games where you're definitely sometimes going to sacrifice the best stats to look the coolest, because you gotta. You gotta look the coolest. And the weapons! Oh my god, the weapons! That cane whip thing, unfolding scythe thingy-majig. Yes. Dude, if I could dress like that all the time, I would.
I know.
So I guess, well, you know, these days with all of the masks going around, I could probably get away with it if I really tried.
True enough.
All you need is a cane whip.
Beyond the direct ways in which Bloodborne is just all of the things I want in a checklist form, except with more stabbing.
Right.
Just, it'd be so nice to see more of it, you know? Those
it's an eerie fucking world.
Yes.
It is.
And we're left with some questions. We're left with some like, wait, what's going on? And tell me more, please. Which is my pitch on that one, sending us over to Red.
So here we go. Everybody just hang on to your fucking boots here.
All right, go on.
Okay. Chibi Robo.
I slightly remember this.
Last seen October 8th, 2015 on the 3DS. Chibi Robo Ziplash, a game that did not so well at all. Like, I think it sits at 45 on Metacritic.
Really now?
Oh,
A game all about letting us explore a big world as a tiny character to put things so that way we can recharge our packs. We can go the fuck home. This game needs another fucking chance, honestly. Like, we have a game that is currently remastered that was like a dual screen. We have Wonderful 101. It was made with 2 screens in mind initially. And this is a GameCube hit. Another game that's really expensive to get a hold of on the GameCube.
Curse you, GameCube.
And in Japan, this game got a mobile version that had you scan around your house for things, and you played as Chibi Robo.
That's pretty cool.
So you looked for circle things. Okay, so you pick up a basketball, or you pick up an apple, or you pick up, smaller things that way. This was
fun.
Leagues beyond its time.
That's pretty cool.
He made it into Smash, and that was cool, and I like that he's there, but I need to play as him more because he's
Give him a
cute.
world again.
I am nothing without cute characters.
I hear that, Kirby.
It's also been a while since we had the last, small thing, big world game. Because that's a huge indie thing, yeah? Wow, itty bitty and afraid.
Yeah, you know what? Let's give it to some people like the Cadence of Hyrule people. Let's let them take advantage of one of Nintendo's properties that, is kind of kicking around at the bottom of the barrel there.
It exists.
Just play with it.
Okay.
No.
I mean, it's
resurrect some IPs, you're saying.
Oh yeah, mine's all about resurrecting IPs.
Yeah.
There's one certain racer that's not on this list, but that's okay. He gets to stay there.
Yeah, because I had one on my list too, and I had to remove it because I had 20, so I probably know which racer you're talking about.
That's okay. All good. He gets to stay right where he is.
Okay.
I found a spiritual successor game. The editor will put the name of this game on screen, and that's exactly what it is. There's no need for that game. Its place has already been taken.
Oh, okay. No. All right. I guess that drops to me now, right?
Sure does.
Well, with the resurrection of all these fighting games coming back out and all these characters getting a second wind, I'd like for this series to come back. It's been forgotten about, Bloody Roar. Now, if you don't know it, it's because it's last time it's been seen is probably on the GameCube, I want to say. I think it had one more game on PS2 or PS3. I think PS2, I want to say. Basic concept. It's a tournament fighter. You play as characters that can transform into beasts, but not like Animorphs, because that's lame. More like
isn't lame, and I'll kill you.
Animorphs is cool as hell.
Oh yeah,
I read it all.
But more
I
like
made Table read it all.
I'm sorry for the both of you.
No, it was a good experience.
From what I've seen, it's a pretty good read, a good idea. But here, we're less animal, we're more animal man. Crazy combo settings, crazy transformations, right? Like you have a guy who's into a wolf guy, you have a bunny girl, and such and such. There's a couple sequels that had rotating rosters. Different ideas, different concepts. Like for them to come back with today's graphics, I think it would look super great.
Now, you want this in like a Smash way of fighting, or you want this in like a Street Fighter 5?
In its classic format, it was a twist on it had, I don't want to say a Tekken format, but it had like a combo Tekken format, Street Fighter format, 2D, 3D kind of idea. 3D models on a 2D backdrop, it doesn't rotate too much. It had ring outs, such and such, and it was just really different at the time when you had nothing but Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and such and such. It was just totally different. Short-lived. I think the company that was behind it, I think they closed shop a while back, so we're never gonna get that for now. But if they can ever, bring that back, please do. I'd like to have a Bloody Roar. I think it's up to 5 now. It'd be nice to bring that in.
Okay, Shido, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
This game sounds fun in terms of mechanics and the design and what you've put down to be on paper, but there is one thought going through my head, and that thought is furry bait.
It is hyper furry bait.
Yeah, it sounds like
Go
it.
on.
Sounds like it a lot.
There's hyper furry bait. There's a sexy bunny girl. There's a sexy fox guy. There's muscular lion man. There's everybody in there, man.
Is there a literal bear?
There's a literal. Hold on.
Kuma makes an appearance. Hello.
To think back, I don't think there's a bear, but I do know there's a fucking gorilla. Yeah.
That's close. That's pretty close, but not the fun joke I was hoping for.
But no bears there, I don't think. I could be wrong. I have to look back. It's been a long time.
So I want to pitch you 2 added characters we add to the roster, and then it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
1 is Kuma.
A bear man. Okay, sure.
Just because he's a fucking bear.
Yes.
Hilarious.
And 2 is Monster Boy, because he's all about transforming into different animals. And he's just this cute little chibi cartoon thing. And to put him up against this, like, the other hulking dudes and have him try to win is an image I can't get out of my head.
it'd be funny because there's literally an enemy that is a monster animal hybrid fetus that transforms, and that'd be cool to see that happen.
I don't know if I like any of the words you just said or if I hate them all, but I am intrigued.
And he goes by the name of Unborn.
Okay, and with that, we're gonna pass it back on to Beastie.
The uncomfortableness. Oh man.
The name is Unborn.
If you guys didn't know. Oh jeez.
Monster fetus. Yeah.
Please
Go on.
stop.
Okay.
Cease and desist. I'm about to write you a letter.
Oh, man. Okay, so I'm gonna mention this one as my fourth, just because my fifth one is a very special one that I want to talk about. So the fourth one is gonna be SpiderMan PS4 Part 2 or SpiderMan 2, whatever it shall be named, whatever.
But these are coming, man.
Nope, but I have no idea what's happening to them.
Yeah. Okay.
We assume
Miles.
Spider-Man 2 is getting made. We don't know it's getting made.
True.
Exactly.
We don't have a trailer. We don't have proof. We just assume because this game was super successful, we're gonna get one.
Look at the
Exactly.
dollar
Go on.
signs that exist. Look at the dollar signs that will exist when it comes out.
Beastie, go on. What do you want in this game?
See, these games, the ones I talk about, I know that they exist in some format, but do we have information? I think not, sir.
Listen, I know Insomniac got pulled into Sony.
Mm-hmm.
They're under the roof now.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Home Alone style.
Yeah, that only implies that they're working on this.
Yeah, so at this summer expo, I would like to hear, hey, we have some little tidbits to show you, and not pull a freaking, what was it, Wolf Among Us, or Bayonetta, not even that, Bayonetta 3. Don't even pull that on me. I want
Where
to
you
see...
show me a logo and then leave me hanging for 2.5 years.
Exactly. I want to see some at
Pop
least
your
mini
chest.
trailer, like they did with the first one, and be like, hey, we have this game, it's working, but we're letting you know it's here, right? And because obviously the first one did so well from release, and obviously, like has been mentioned, the money does talk. I want to see, where the next story is going to go. Like how DLC is going to come up. What suits are they thinking of bringing this time around?
Forget that. Just add Miles.
True. That is what I want. You know what?
But bringing in Miles adds so many different mechanics because, his power set is different, and I want to play that.
Yes.
Me too.
And I just want to see how this goes. I want to see how Miles handles that Spider-Man.
I will go on that because from what I've seen in the game, what they hinted at was, Peter's gonna be taking on Miles as mentor-student thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would want to see this sequel just totally depart from Peter. We just forget about Peter and we just focus on Miles.
Okay.
Do you want to kill him a la Spider-Verse?
No. We don't kill Peter. Peter's just there as background. He's just there to give you the tender advice here and there, but like the game is central on Miles.
So like it doesn't like kill him off at any point, but since more like
So
it just eases off and then it's going to Miles.
You don't want the title to be called Spider-Man 2. You just want it to be called Ultimate Spider-Man.
It could be that. It could be Spider-Man 2. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to feature Peter. Peter could just be in a Bruce Wayne Batman Beyond capacity. He's just there.
Yeah.
I instantly know what you're talking about.
Right? Give you advice. Make a device that helps you out. But like when you're solving the crime, you're solving it as Miles.
Yeah.
Peter's off doing his own shit as Spider-Man somewhere else.
I mean, they could do something interesting with that in terms of like, initially you would start off in one area and it's like, okay, this is the area Peter's given you to deal with. He'll deal with everything else. You focus here and you handle everything here.
Yeah.
As the game progresses, you could gain more and more of that like respect in that territory in terms of, okay, I trust you can now handle this area as well.
One could even
until
say
you're no longer
responsibility.
doing anything.
Yeah, see, now you're talking my language, man.
Mm-hmm. See, and the
I've
thing
played
is,
a lot of games like that.
Yeah.
thing is too with it though, I'd rather not like go the ultimate route with like comic book sense because like they did a good job with this version of Peter Parker where he's like older, of course, like he's more experienced. So in the sense of having it like as you said, like the Batman Beyond aspect, I'd be okay with that. Like he's still around, just in the background, and Miles is, as you said, like
I just set this game at a handful of years in the future and call it a day.
Right, yeah. Like we don't have to watch Peter help Miles grow. We can watch, pick up like 2-3 years later where Miles is now a bit more confident in his skill. Yeah, you know what I mean?
You could weave it in just like I prefer my spider shooters, organic.
I see what you did there. And I like it.
I'm not not opposed, but also
I
can't get over what they did with that in the comics because it hurts.
Yeah,
Red, it hurts.
I'm not a fan of that.
They did a good job in the movie.
Oh,
The movie handled it fine, but the comics made it painful. I cannot deal with that.
I don't like organic webbing. That is weird.
But
to me.
spiders do it naturally.
Yeah, but I mean,
Spiders do it naturally.
Just because, if that's the case, then he should have a giant ass that spins that stuff out. If you want to get real
Spinnerettes,
correct.
bro.
He should have 6 arms again.
Yeah, like he doesn't. Just because you have the powers of spider doesn't mean you have to go organic on everything, man. I like the idea of Peter being ingenuitive.
If you look at his power set, it's got almost nothing to do with spiders.
Yeah, he walks on fucking walls. That's about it, man.
Lots of things walk on walls. It's not special.
No, so I mean, he can make his web, whatever, right? Just
He could give his girlfriend cancer by screwing her.
What?
It says the man who's a Superboy fan. If this guy were to bust a nut, that poor child.
Would explode.
You don't get to talk about Jonathan Kent's creation that way.
Like, man, I don't know how Lois did it, right? But I salute.
But she did it.
My
Man
God.
of Steel, am I right?
Oh,
That's the woman of Steel, excuse you.
God.
The womb
I was
of
talking
steel,
about
I
his
mean.
dick, but thanks.
But, well, at least he's not Barry.
Damn.
Is it true,
I have
Barry?
2 words for you: human vibrator.
Listen, and Barry, is it true that you really are the fastest man alive at everything? Because that kind of sucks, man.
And bust, yeah.
Oh, poor Barry.
But oh no, Barry. I guess that brings it back, I guess, to the next discussion for table then.
Yeah, that sure is my turn. Okay.
You gave her the floor.
You sure did. Okay, so I don't know if I've mentioned to you guys, but I am a dirty console gamer. I don't do much on the PC, mostly because my laptop, if it tried to run anything, would kill me in my sleep.
Oh,
It's okay. I'm a dirty console player too. It's okay. Go on.
So,
I am also yet another dirty console player.
so the whole world of PC games is usually fairly closed to me, right? Which means that the world of RTSs is usually fairly closed to me, because trying to play an RTS on a console is an exercise in frustration.
Yes.
StarCraft
But-
is on the 64.
Again, I cannot play anything on a 64 without owning one. But forever ago, I found this one RTS called Ruse, which was set during World War II, where you got to play as various powers and do tank things and build bases and have men and do stuff. And it was great. It was fantastic. It actually worked on the PlayStation 3. And it was
Okay.
so much fun. And I desperately want more RTSs on consoles. Please. I don't care that the design is not made for a controller. I just
Make it that way,
want
damn
to
it.
play them.
Yes. Map it that way.
Figure it out. And it doesn't have to be a sequel to Ruse, though that'd be kind of neat just for, again, hit that nostalgia button real hard.
Right.
But I just want to play an RTS on my PlayStation 4. Please.
Listen, this weeb ass is gonna take the floor if you guys don't mind.
Welcome back.
So my next one is gonna be a Digimon fighter again. So there was one on the GameCube, and it was
There
also
was.
on the Xbox.
It
I played the
was.
shit out of that game a couple of years ago, and I paid $70.
Dedication. That's love.
It's in my house.
Ow.
I can play it anytime I want. It plays on my 360, no problems. Digimon Rumble Arena 2.
Yes, I know which one you're talking about. That's a cool
So-
game, man.
Did you know that on the Xbox 360, they made a spiritual successor to that game?
No, I did not know this.
It is called Digimon All-Star Rumble. It released in 2014.
You know, I
It is
didn't
an
read know.
It is an absolute disaster of a game with broken physics and everything, and the worst RNG I have seen in my many years of playing games. At this point in time, though, the Digimon property as a whole has never been stronger on console games. You have Digimon Cyber Sleuth and its spiritual successor as well, collected now on most modern consoles, called the Complete Story Collection. And Digimon Survive is coming to all modern platforms. So let's circle back around to the
Okay.
game that made me like fighting games again, because I kept getting my ass kicked because I couldn't figure out what the C button did in Melee.
That's really relatable. But why was this game better than that?
This game shat on it. Digimon Rumble Arena would be the ideal one to bring back, but because this
Okay.
one is so broken, I need this one fixed before I ever want that one again. That one is perfect in its own right. I can play
Right.
that one no problem. Eventually, I will find a way to have you guys also play this game, and you will see.
Okay.
You're
You
righting
guys-
a wrong here.
I am
Justice.
righting a wrong. I am
Justice
fixing
for
an injustice.
Digimon.
Correct. Yes. This lets
Okay.
you play as almost every main Digimon protagonist Digimon, none of the humans, and that's fine. That's who's interesting anyway.
Yeah. Oh, I don't get to play Toy.
No, but you get to play as Agumon and some of the newer people who you might not know. But the cast is so like skewed. Like, of course, it features a lot of nostalgia from the original series, but it features 2 from Adventure 2, 1 from Adventure 3, and then 1 from everyone after that. And then there's a couple unlockable characters, and they're just dark versions of the other characters. So they're just palette swaps. There's nothing.
Swap.
At least when, say, Smash, a perfect fighting game, does a palette swap,
Yeah.
at least they hit different.
Well, you've got so much to enjoy already that you can just go like, and now it's funny colors.
Yeah. So let's kick it back to Sheena while he tucks that back away.
All right. Well, my last one is Power Stone, and this was on the Dreamcast. This used to be actually an arcade fighter too, ported on the Dreamcast. Don't know anybody ever heard of it?
I have heard of Power Stone. I have seen Power Stone gameplay.
Yeah, Power Stone.
Don't know of it. No.
No, I did fucking tournaments to this thing, man. It's a small little arena battler. You can be up to 4 players, and literally you're beating the shit out of each other, using little weapons here and there, and trying to collect 3 of the Power Stones to become super. You get a secondary form, like a power-up form, and you have like a screen, like a screen spreader kind of move that kills everybody. So the chase is on to get all the gems to get your powered up form. But yeah, little fun arena battler. I had fun with it for like hours. The sequel's a bit better because it has I think 3 or 4 more characters added to the roster, so it makes it a little bit more fleshed out. So you don't feel like you're fighting the same like 7 people over and over.
I had to pick which one I wanted to, like, just based on looks that I wanted to play. I would pick 2.
Yeah, 2 is a lot more fun. More stages, more characters. There's more gameplay to it. A few more mechanics added to it to make it that different from the first one. Definitely check out some gameplay if you can. If you've never seen it, it was like at a time when you couldn't get Smash Bros. This was the game to go to. And it's got like a 30-person roster, doesn't it? No, not so much. I think the second one does. I think the second one's got like way more characters. I think it's got like, I think you start off with initial 3 or 4 new ones, and I think you unlock other ones as you go along.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. From gameplay I've seen, yeah. And I think one of them requires you to have a super perfect ending. Yeah, you have to like not lose, like not one fight, no continues. That's a typical Capcom game for you. Yeah, still like Street Fighter. Like if you can run a perfect game on Street Fighter, you get the true ending, true credits.
Get wrecked.
Yeah, so especially Street Fighter 2. If you did it correctly, you don't fight Bison at the end. You fight Akuma, who's fucking broken like crazy. And one of my strats to kill him in that is to punch and pause and kick and pause and keep doing that. Oh, you save scum, don't you? Yes, I do, because that's the only way to do it.
If you get to that last fight and then you die, does that negate your perfect ending?
Yes, it does. You cannot go back.
Oh.
That's Capcom being mean.
Yeah.
Capcom is mean.
I believe you can still continue the fight. Like you continue. You go back to fighting him, but I don't think you get the special credits at the end. It goes right back to being normal credits.
That's so rude.
Yeah, so you gotta do it all over.
Beastie, your turn.
All right, my last one for mentions is gonna be Infamous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
We've got a second Infamous game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
Give me a third one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We had Infamous 1. We had Infamous 2. We had the third one, which, mind you, I can't remember the title, but obviously we can pull that up.
Rock Boy.
Stop this. But I want to see the possibility of them continuing the story, like going from where they did in the third game.
Yes.
On like what is the world like now with either options, because they had the the either being a hero or being a villain, kind of different storylines.
Yeah. And
it was very innovative. It was like as well with like the first or the early Mass Effect kind of games too. But you could see kind of like if you do this kind of like choice, you can see how this is going to go. Or if you're going to go with a negative choice, you're going to see how this is going to go. And I want to see what kind of aspect they would go or storyline they would go with if they continue to do that. But even with maybe like a new character per se, like don't continue from the third person or the second person that was introduced, but maybe see if there's another person or young person that's in there that's involved with this whole scenario.
Each time I played it, I went Dark Lord on everything.
Oh my God.
Why are we not surprised?
I mean, I'll save you, sure, no problem. But you,
You Palpatined everybody, didn't you?
I'm a merciless god.
You're the one that was like, ultimate power.
BC, would you want to see like the powers handled closer to the first couple games, or like the third game where you have multiple powers and multiple types of things you can do?
And see, that depends on how they would go with the story, because it was an interesting aspect of like getting someone who basically pulled a Fantastic Four with the Human Torch,
Super Scroll,
and just like basically absorbed the different powers, but you was able to use them at different times. But at the same time, I would still want to see what it's still like with just the main, like, you have this set of powers and you can see how it can go either for the hero or like for the villain like aspect. So I think it just depends on what they do with the storyline more or less.
Because I mean, I felt, at least in, I think it was Second Son is what it was called.
That would be the last one that was created.
Yeah, I felt that it kind of sacrificed some of the, I guess, depth of what those powers can do in exchange for having a whole bunch of them. So like, you kind of go from, all right, we are Electric Guy, and here's what we can do as Electric Guy, to what if I just did things? Wouldn't that be wild? So Shino went Evil Overlord. What style did you go for, Beastie?
From when I played the first two, I think I straight up just went hero, because like I was like intrigued of like just the hero aspect. So I was like, oh yeah, I did like do a little bit of like villainy in like the second one, but I was like, no, I'm sticking with hero. So I just went with that.
You dabbled in darkness, did you?
I had a taste of the dark side, yes.
And you stepped out, did you?
Yes, I did.
It's calling you back.
He just put his toes in the pool. He doesn't have to jump in.
Exactly. I tested the water, put my legs in. You know, it's like, ooh, this is interesting.
Well, I put on my fucking swimming cap and I dove right into that darkness. I'm swimming right here, and all you people bow to me.
No, as soon as you heard the negative side, you were like, oh, skinny dipping? Call me in. Let's go.
Oh, there's another choice? I never heard of this positive side. We're gonna go evil here.
Yeah, I like this side. Let me stay here. But yeah, that's one I'd really like to maybe see if like they could. I would say like revive, I guess, or just bring another spin off a story.
Make a sequel.
Yeah, exactly. Because the storyline they brought with like the DLC, sorry, they brought with the girl
First Light.
First Light. That one was like interesting just to see from that like point of view.
Yeah.
But if they were continuing from that world, or I guess that kind of storyline, I want to see what they can do with another person from a different point of view, or just years later on how that world developed, So it would be interesting to kind of see how that progresses. But yeah, that would be my choice.
Lady, anything from you?
Well, I've got my only honorable mention that I've brought to the table here.
Right.
And I'm going even harder on nostalgia bullshit now, because I would love to see something done with Mickey Mouse Magic Mirror, on the condition that it commits to the weird spooky aspects and just makes itself a horror game.
Okay, so Mickey in the darkness.
Getting chased by a giant possessed duck, that was one of those things that impacted me as a child, I have never forgotten that nonsense.
It's a game, it's a game I haven't seen in such a long time. I'd have to relook at that game.
Well, it's just a really bizarre puzzle game with like arcadey sections.
Yeah.
And it was fun, don't get me wrong.
Right.
Like, I really enjoyed it. But it definitely, if you played into the scary stuff more, that becomes a totally different experience.
Sort of like what was that last game there with Disney, and it was Mickey and the paintbrush game there.
Oh, Epic Mickey.
Yeah,
that's the one. Thank you. In that vein of like that dark kind of world setting.
Yeah, and who doesn't love traumatizing children because you put a mouse on a game and their parents assumed it'd be fine?
It's gonna be fine.
So basically, pull Bendy the Ink Machine, but with a mouse.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but actually double down on the Walt Disneyness of it all.
Yeah, even more creepy.
If I don't see Goofy coming to get me, it's not a good game.
But it's got to be fake, evil, wrong Goofy.
If you don't hear the in the background coming for you, it's not right.
I found a knife. Gorsh.
I'll do it again.
Horrifying. But as an honorable mention, that's just a brief little topic thing there, so we can just shoot right over to Red.
Okay, my last one. Is Vex. This game came out in 2003 on the GameCube. This Acclaim developed game, it was made by Acclaim, got 90% on every critics board across the whole spectrum. It made a bunch of money. It followed our main character, the titular character Vex, the current possessor of the legendary Astani War Talons. He's attached to them involuntarily, just like Ben Tannen, the Omnitrix, and he fights his way through the villain Yabu's army to defeat his homeland. It's a 3D platformer on the GameCube that everybody liked who played it anyway.
Right.
So why not? Like,
I know.
he's got a neat design. He
We
looks
love an involuntary hero.
right, and
Sometimes they have the
also
best stories.
he's last of his kind because his grandpa dies,
Oh.
and you have to watch.
Oh.
More
So
trauma
on
for
that
the
said
children.
note, let's pick Bushido. Maybe he'll give us a happy.
Happy one, maybe. I have 2 honorable mentions because I believe one should be resurrected, and the other one is a game property that I believe is a character that's surprisingly not is underused. You guys ever played Nights into Dreams?
I sure did.
Yeah, I want
Don't
more
think
of
so.
that. No, I want more of that back. Nights into Dreams was just a, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe that game, but like there's nothing stressful about it. But like
This thing had a peaceful soundtrack.
yeah,
It was
there's
on
just
the Wii.
there's something
character
appealing
was
about it.
nice.
I first played it on the Sega Saturn, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah, and then Dreamcast, and then
Then the
on
Wii.
the Wii. Yeah, but I really like to have that come back, especially with mechanics today. On a Switch, it'd be super easy. It was nice to see it on Wii. It was almost natural to have it on the Wii.
oh, totally. Tilt
right.
controls, movement controls.
Yeah,
Wow.
it just made total sense. So I can see that on the Switch. I believe the Switch is capable of the same thing. So it'd be nice to bring that back. And my final one here is Bushido Blade, and this is an old fighter.
That sounds really familiar.
Yeah, on PS1. And this one was this fighting game here is not the typical fighting game. There's no real health bar. Literally, there's nothing on the screen. It's just your 2 characters and the background and whatever choice of weapon you have in your hand. And sometimes it's a one-hit kill, and you have to like hit with complete precision. Sometimes you wear the person down. If you hit them, you can destroy their arm, their leg. They're unable to run as much. They're not able to swing as hard or whatever. They're not able to use their weapon. And sometimes it's just a one-hit kill. It all comes down to like who gets the first hit in. It's literally that type of game. And sometimes like you and your buddies will be sitting there, and there's no timer or anything, and you'll be sitting there for like minutes, just like not
Going
ready.
at it?
Yeah, just ready
On guard.
yeah, ready to strike and just waiting for someone to make the move or whatever. And you're really, really like concentrating, man. It's something else. Like it's a nice break away from like the overall action fighter where everybody's like, super amped and ready to go. And this is more of a concentrate and wait and time it out and like who can outmove who and who's smarter than who and reflexes and all that stuff. Like check out Bushido Blade if you get a chance. The gameplay is better when you're playing with 2 players, not with the like. Not
So I
with
did a
3.
quick Google search, and this like the aesthetic, because it's on the PS1,
Yeah.
gives me a lot of Virtua Fighter vibes.
Yes. Okay. It is not as floaty, not as slow.
No, but just the aesthetic, right? Just
Yeah,
the polygonal look.
Yeah, I would really like for them to remaster that whole game, or just make it a whole new game. And like, it'd just be nice to have like that old feudal Japan feel, weapons in hand. Like even you have one character who literally uses a gun, and you have to like outrun or even like deflect the bullet.
This dude
Precisely.
brought a gun to a knife fight.
Yes, and precisely deflect the bullet and go and attack him. Like there's so much to it. The second game had more of a fleshed out roster, and there's so many more weapons and different ways of like trying to outmaneuver your opponent. Check it out if you can.
There's something about your description of the combat here. I've been trying to find what it was, but you guys remember the a more recent Japanese like samurai game that came out?
Samurai
It's
Showdown.
like no, it's something Shadow or something. But that combat style of
Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
yes, that
Okay, yeah.
because that idea of a fight can either be chipping away at them bit by bit, no health bars, or you can just get it right and rip them in half.
Yeah.
That sounds like that, but for a single player game instead.
Yeah, it literally is. And it's like, I remember I had matches where it's like one slice and that person's just dead. And like, it's like, wow, they waited all this time to fight. And it's just like, the fight's already over within like 3 seconds, right? Like,
Thanks for coming, but
yeah. But definitely check some videos out, check some gameplay. Sometimes it gets so intense that people just will not move for like minutes and just stand there and just wait. And that's the last of my stuff. Anybody else have any other honorable mentions?
I believe our last one would be Beastie. Did you have any honorable?
You already had my last one, so I don't have any honorable mentions on my part.
Well, carry us out.
All right, from here. So our Twitter is at Crusade Nerd. Instagram is Nerd Crusade, where you can find us posting our episodes. from other points, or we can talk about discussing about other medias as well too. From that, we upload every Wednesday to YouTube, and you can also download any previous episodes or listen on your mobile device through their Anchor FM or Spotify app by searching Nerd Crusade.
And that's a to be continued.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like this issue, go ahead and button mash the thumbs up. If you want to swing by when we have a new video, web up the subscribe button on YouTube or anywhere you can to listen to our podcast. And to be updated to know when a new issue is out, hit the bell to be notified by